Hello everyone, my name is Marielle Herberstein. I'm the Chair of Academic Senate, and in this video blog I'm summarizing two Senate meetings. Our usually scheduled meeting that was held on the 23rd of October, and then we held an extraordinary meeting on the 5th of November, and the function of that extraordinary meeting was to approve the new courses that have been submitted and approved or endorsed by the Academic Senate Quality Committee and now needed to be approved by Senate. As always, the agenda and the minutes of the Senate meetings are available on the Senate website. And as always, all Senate meetings are open to all staff. So if you want to join the next meeting, please just email the email below and we'll make sure we have enough chairs in the room for you. So the top 5 of the combined two Senate meetings, first of all, was planning for Senate projects for 2019. So back in 2017, Senate adopted a new project-based approach where we define specific projects either for Senate or for the Senate committees, and then developed timetables and outcomes of those projects for Senate. We did the same. We have the, in order to arrive at these projects, what sort of projects should Senate be focusing in, we have a specific process. And in 2018, this year, we have started this process already this year for 2019 to make sure that we can start the projects with the new year immediately. So in terms of arriving at specific Senate projects for 2019, we engaged a particular research procedure. First of all, we assessed which of the 2018 projects need to spill over into 2019 because we hadn't finished them. We also engaged with the Higher Education Standards Framework to see whether there are any gaps, as well as with the university strategic plans to see where Senate roles might fall into those strategic plans. But then we engaged our senators and we asked our senators to engage with their colleagues in their organizational units to bring forward ideas for Academic Senate for 2019. We also engaged with governance services, we engaged with the chairs of the Senate committees, and through these processes, arrived at a long list of potential projects for Senate. And at the Senate meeting in October, on the 23rd of October, we discussed the proposals for potential projects for Senate. And at the Senate meeting itself, we prioritized them. So the senators provided feedback and also provided an idea of which of the projects they thought had the highest priority. You can have a look at the priority list. You can have a look at the 2018 projects, but also the 2019 proposed projects in a prioritized fashion at the website below. And this website will also give you an opportunity to make some comments on the prioritized projects. At the next Senate meeting in November, we will ask Senate to endorse these projects, and in 2019 then we will start working on them. Topic number 2 was the curriculum architecture, and at every meeting I give an update on where curriculum architecture is. And in the October meeting I gave an update from the curriculum architecture checkpoint perspective. The checkpoint is the first step of the governance pipeline that very quickly, with a very quick turnaround time, looks at the proposals and checks them against the curriculum architecture principles to identify any violations with the principles and bring those any feedback to the course authorities very quickly. And in fact, 65% of submissions that pass through the checkpoints that do so within a day, and 90% do so within 2 days. In the last 2 weeks of October, we've seen a significant spike in momentum in curriculum architecture, with courses moving from curriculum architecture to the faculty quality and standards committees to the Senate quality and standards working groups, and then they flow on to the Academic Senate Standard and Quality Committee. It is very clear from this amount of work and also from our engagement with individuals that the whole community is involved in the course submission process. It is a lot of work, but the work has been conducted in a very collegiate fashion, with everyone wanting to do the right thing and working very hard to get the courses into the system. I'd like to particularly highlight the work done by departments, by academics in departments and faculty, but also by professional staff in departments and the faculties, the learning and teaching professional staffs, the associate deans for quality and standards, the curriculum planning team, and we also have a team that supports the course learning outcome writing. And finally, of course, there's the curriculum architecture project team and a set of staff who are reviewing the courses as they come to the curriculum architecture checkpoint. As a consequence of this hard work and the approval pipeline that we've developed, on the 23rd of October, Academic Senate approved the first 51 courses that have come through the pipeline. It includes courses, majors and specialization for 2020. And then at the 5th of November, we approved a further 70 courses, specializations and majors. Of course, at the next Senate meeting in November, later in November, we're expecting many more courses come to Senate for approval. Topic number 3 was a presentation from the Executive Dean from the Faculty of Human Sciences, Professor Simon Handley, giving us an update on what is going on, what's happening at the faculty, any highlights for the year and looking into the future for the faculty. Now, Simon Handley started his short presentation by telling us what he had been up to on that weekend, because he climbed some 1,500 odd stairs to the Sydney Tower Eye wearing 20 kilograms of firefighting gear. He did this to raise money for the research into motor neuron disease, and made it to the top. I think he conveyed very convincingly that it was a very difficult climb. If you're interested in donating to the motor neuron disease, below is the link if you want to follow that. But coming back to the Faculty of Human Sciences, Simon Handley reflected on the 3 years that he's been in the role of Executive Dean. And for him, a key theme in these 3 years was people. He spoke on increasing the interdisciplinary nature and of research and people being the focus for the faculty. He noted that there are many stars in the faculty and highlighted 3 very recent achievements. The first of all being Professor Jenny Hudson, who was elected a fellow for the Academy of Social Sciences. The second one was Celine Petit, who achieved the 2nd place in the Asia Pacific 3-minute thesis competition. And finally, Professor Ingrid Piller, who won the Annelies Meyer Research Award. Simon also spoke of the success of the Students as Partner program, Students as Partners program, and this program was featured in the Teach newsletter, and I'll provide a link to that article. But it consists of teams made up of students and teaching partners who work together to improve the experience of students in a unit throughout the semester. That was topic number 3. Topic number 4 was a student-led business. At the October meeting, one of our student senators, Alex Feofilov, who is the undergraduate student representative for the Faculty of Human Sciences, provided some very interesting feedback. Since he has joined the Senate Quality and Standards Committee, ASQC, he gained a much broader understanding about the moderation and assessment policies and procedures at Macquarie University. And he thought there were actually superior procedures, particularly the standards-based approach, compared to other universities. And he suggests that students are not entirely aware of this approach, and suggested some more student-facing communication to encourage students to learn more about how Macquarie University approaches academic quality assurance. We thought this was a great idea and referred the matter to the chair of the Senate Learning and Teaching Committee, Mitch Purcell, to perhaps include something in a planned festival of assessment. We also thanked the student representative on the University Discipline Committee, Emily Ward. Emily has already attended some 23 hours of meetings since she joined in August, and we also were seeking a second student representative on this committee to spread out the workload, and at the 5th of November committee to spread out the workload and to also ensure that the University Discipline Committee has a student voice. Finally, on the 5th of November, we welcomed a new student senator, Alexandra Nikolic, is a new postgraduate coursework student representative on Academic Senate. Alex is filling a casual vacancy. At the November meeting, she introduced herself and, which we'd like to see immediately, joined discussions on curriculum architecture in her very first meeting. So welcome, Alex. I will look forward to working with you. The final hot topic for the combined October-November meetings of Academic Senate was the progression policy. The item was originally scheduled for the 23rd of October, but was then postponed to the 5th of November, pending some feedback that we received. And at the 5th of November, the chair of the Senate Learning and Teaching Committee, Mitch Purcell, presented the paper and outlined the difficulties that arises in the progression policy when session 3 is included in the policy. So just to briefly recap, the student success is measured in every semester, and if students consistently fall below a 50% success rate in the units, then there's a staged intervention that starts with an alert, alerting students to academic advice and so on. But the problem is between session 2 and session 3 that the timing just doesn't work. There's just not enough time between these two semesters to assess student progression and to alert them. So the proposal in the policy was to disregard session 3 and only consider student progression in session 1 and session 2. So as not to disadvantage students. We had a lively discussion around the progression policy, which mostly centered not on the principle that session 3 should be excluded, but about the opportunities of supporting students who are on academic caution or on conditional enrollment or even on suspension. And Senate Learning and Teaching Committee is proposing a full review of the progression policy in 2019, and the feedback at the November Senate meeting will certainly be incorporated into that. Discussing the value of session 3 also was part of this discussion, and what the nature and the possibility for future offerings are for session 3. And so the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic will take this back to executive deans and other members of the executive group. And those were the top 5 of the combined October and November meeting of Academic Senate. The next Academic Senate meeting will be November 27th at 9:30. We welcome you to come and observe the Senate meeting, and would appreciate if you could just email us that you're attending. But that's it from me today, and I'll blog later in November. Thank you.